calculation. Now, what do we do today? Can I inquire people from different streams? Well, how far you had gone? For example, Kalema in 1 Central Physics, which subtopic were you studying by the time you left school? Either Gabriela.
We were done with density. In Central, we were done with density.
All right. And the Asime Shaima East, what were you looking at? Asime, are you around? Okay, Hana Virunji South. Well, how far have you gone? Hey, people signed in and went away. Hana Virunji, are you available? Regina Namigade, 1 South. What were you looking at in physics before you left? Just before you left? Do I remind people on WhatsApp that the lesson has started? It's like people signed in and went away. Let me first put some information on the page.
Teacher. The last lesson we had with teacher, with our physics teacher, we were reviewing what we had learned during the Zoom lesson we had, and we had ended on density. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
We ended on density.
Density, that's good. That was who speaking? Which stream?
South.
South, good. Do I have any other from a different stream?
Yes, north.
Yes, north.
North, we ended on the law of flotation.
Law of flotation. Hey, for you had moved there. That's great. And lastly, east. Asima, is Asima back? Asima is not around. So ideally we are looking around density. So we can just do something about density and probably bring in some element of the relative density. Okay. I'm reminding people that the lesson has started here. But meanwhile, now I want to set an activity about density. Nyamaizi, you have something to say? So we want to do an activity in form of, let me see, I'm supposed to stop here. Which we are going to discuss, to do with the geography. To do with the density. Those who attended last time, we said in this way of learning, we are now going to be doing activities the way they should appear in our exams when we are being assessed. We are not going to have issues of what is density, calculate this or no. It comes in the form of a scenario, something happening, and then you are applying the knowledge of knowing density in daily life events. So I want to set an example here of an activity where we shall say, yes. Amira. Password PMGS. I'm not going to break up the room yet. We can write this question. I hope we are able to see it. We are going to discuss it.
Excuse me, teacher.
Yes.
Should we write that activity?
Yes, we are writing it,
physics?
and then we are. We don't have to mix it with our schoolwork. You can find anywhere to write it, whether it is a physics book, but at the back, I don't want to disorganize the teacher's arrangement of notes. Regina cannot see. Probably
Okay.
your network is a bit weak. Is it the case with everyone? Are we able to see what is on the chalkboard, Daniela?
Yes.
Yes.
So Regina, it is
able to see where you've put it. Like,
where I have put like. You see, when the network is not
it's
clear.
too much on the side.
That one we can adjust. Is it okay now? Is it better?
Yes, teacher.
Yes. That's our activity. We want to make use of knowledge of density. We have in 1 minute, I hope everyone will have finished writing. We want to discuss it as a class together. After doing this one, I'll give an exercise. So we want to do this one together, and then I give you an exercise which you will do on an individual basis. Are we done writing? Kalema,
Yes,
have you
teacher.
finished writing?
No,
Yes.
no.
Yes.
1 minute. In 1 minute, make sure you're. Unless someone is writing on a rock, I guess we have finished.
Yes.
Now here is a scenario. At least we already have the knowledge of density. Who knows the definition of density? Can we first review that one? By show of hands, who can tell us what you know about density? Yes, Nyamaizi? Quickly, you save time.
Density is mass per unit volume. Density is mass per unit volume.
Mass per unit volume. Good. Rihanna, is the answer different?
That's the answer.
So that density is mass per unit volume. That one mathematically means mass over volume. How many of us have ever carried, Nuriat, you have an answer, something to say? Quickly, unmute and say something.
Density is determined by the tallness of an object.
It is. Come again.
Density. It is determined by heaviness or lightness of an object.
Or how heavy or light something is. Good. That you can be given two pieces of material, you can be given two materials. When they even appear to be of the same shape and the same size, but the one is heavier than the other. So I was asking, has any one of you ever carried two chairs? One appears to be heavy, another one appears to be light. When they are exactly the same shape, same size, but one appears to be heavy, another one appears to be light. So I'm sure during your lessons, when you are covering about density, they talked about that. But now when we are dealing with, for example, wood, for those of you who have some knowledge about wood and so on, you realize that better quality wood is that one that is a bit heavy. Not heavy because it is big in size, but even if, for example, I have these two speakers, if this one is made of one material of wood, and this one is a different one. For those who know tree species, supposing this is eucalyptus, and maybe this one here is muvule, what they call mahogany. You realize that the one of mahogany, they are exactly the same shape, same size and everything. But you realize that the one of mahogany is heavier than the one of eucalyptus. Now the heaviness you are checking is actually the density. It means that mahogany has a greater density compared to eucalyptus. Are we getting the point? And that many times, this density determines whether the wood is good quality or it is poor quality. Just a moment. So, for that matter, if Amira has to make a better choice, we can make use of determining the densities of the 3 types of woods that are available. So what this question requires us to do is, can we describe the processes Amira should do to ensure that she comes up with the 3 densities of the different wood? I'm sure I will not give you COVID online, and I'm here alone in the room alone, so I don't have to be burdened with a mask. Okay, so in our answering of this question, what actually the question requires us to do is to outline procedures through which Amira can get the density of each of the samples available. I want us to think about that. Now the discussion is going to come back to you. Can we outline the procedures in which we can use the procedure that can lead us to determining the densities of the 3 masses? We shall assume one wood is A, another wood is B, another wood is C. I'm giving you 1 minute of thinking on the procedures on how we can determine the densities of A, B, and C. 1 minute, then we start. Can we start? Have we? I want someone to tell us how to start. That's why I gave you some time. We have known that we are going to use the knowledge of density to advise Amira on how to choose the best wood. Now, Amira is someone, we are assuming is someone who doesn't know physics, but we can give her procedures on what to follow until she's able to get the density of A, B, and C. Then she can make a choice out of the 3 types of wood available. Who is starting? Mukoda is starting. What do we need to follow? What can you tell Amira to do? Taking note of the texture of the wood. We may not be able to read the charts, at least let's use verbal communication.
Sir, Amira should first check for whether the wood is hollow or if it's hollow or not. If it's hollow, it's bad wood because there are these insects that chew through wood and that can spoil the wood.
Being hollow means probably there is an insect. They call them insects, or they call them pests, or what now, I don't know. So, supposing he finds when the wood is clear, it has no any damage on it. But there are three types. Maybe there is eucalyptus, there is mahogany, there is msizi. Now she wants to choose between those ones. It's okay. You can first check the hollow if it is hollow. But you know that they will have to again redesign it. They can choose the one without a hole on it. Rihanna, it's okay. Hollowness, if it's hollow, this is bad. Because it means maybe some insect ate it already.
Teacher.
Yes.
That's trying, I'm not sure. But I think that if we first found the mass of all the three chairs,
yes,
then we find their volume. Then after we use the method of density, which density is equals to mass per unit volume, and we know which chair is the heaviest, so that would be the good
quality.
The good chair.
Thank you very much. At least you are now, we are getting on track. But the challenge is, how shall we get to the volume of the chair? You know what the size of a chair? Rihanna has something to say. Thank you. We'll come back to that one. Actually, you're on track. We just now have to be specific. Yes, how shall we measure the mass of a chair? How shall we measure the volume of a chair? It can be challenging. If we don't have to measure the whole chair, remember, by the way, they have not yet made these chairs. Amira just wants to make an order that for me, you make my chairs from this type of wood, so it is not yet a chair. What can we do? Regina. I think, Hannah says, I think they should first find the mass, then find the volume, then find the densities. Are we going to find the mass and the volume of a very long piece of wood? What do we... You are all on track, by the way. That's very good. But we need to be specific. Just imagine a wood can be like 3 meters or 4 meters long. How will you determine the volume of that? How do you determine the mass of that? It is too big. Mukoda is back. I think she wants to say something about her answers. Okay, Elizabeth. Let's hear from Elizabeth. Akidi.
I think they have to cut a piece.
Come again? I think the first step is to look for properties.
I think they'll have to cut.
Okay. Akidi, you were still saying something?
I think they should cut a piece of each of the wood, each of the types, and then use it with the water and compare it with the density of the wood and the water, see which one will sink and which one will float. Then they can save their density.
Thank you very much. That's very good. Now, supposing all of them sink or all of them float, shall we say there is no good wood and therefore Amira should not buy the furniture? Regina, your hand has been up for some time. Quickly say something.
Teacher, I think she should identify the densities of each type. Because not like every type of wood has its own density. So I think she should first identify the densities.
Now these densities are not written on the water.
Sama, I think she first has to identify the wood. Because she might prefer the type of...
There is someone who says should take note of properties of the wood, for example, the texture, weight, roughness, smoothness, and the resistance. It is very true, we can take note of this, but the roughness, there are machines which can make them smooth. So I don't think we can rely on that since we can adjust it by ourselves. Now, I'm getting the ideas. Now, I want, since this was mine, we have discussed enough, I want to give a sample of how we can answer this one. And therefore, we shall discuss another question following how we can present this one. Is it okay? I think she should use the law of flotation. There are very many ideas coming up. This is very good. It means the class is not boring. But let's look at this one first, then we shall see. We may have to write later. Let me first put and then we shall write after. Now, before you start writing, can we look at that kind of answering? Are we able to read what is on the chalkboard?
Yes, teacher.
Yes, teacher.
One thing I wanted to ask, for me, according to me, I thought that this one, this point, should come before this. Why? Since the specimens may be irregular, and in the process of determining their volume, we are going to dip them into water. They may absorb some water. And therefore, when we measure their mass after dipping them in water, we may not be getting the exact volume. I mean, the exact mass. The water that has been absorbed may add in some weight, not so. So it's better, immediately we cut them from the piece, from the wood that is available. We first measure their masses before dipping them into the water. At that point, we shall be sure we are really getting the actual mass. Don't you think so?
Yes, teacher.
When we are writing,
a little.
Come again? Come again, please.
It's okay now. It's okay. You've moved. You are obstructing.
All right. So I was saying, when we are writing, let's write this point before this. This one should be here, and this one comes here. We can determine the volume after we have determined the masses. Now, since here we are looking at the density, we are not going into the detail of how we do the displacement method. I hope you covered the volume, not so. Each one of you covered volume. And you know that if we are determining the volume of a regular object, such as a cuboid, a tube, a cone, we know the formulas for determining those ones. And if the material is irregular, then we use what we call the displacement method or the Eureka can method. But here we are interested in the density, so we are not going into the detail. But we must mention how we are determining that volume if we are answering this question. Are we together? So what can we say about that kind of answer? Is anyone having maybe a subtraction? You have a question. Someone would say, why do we have to determine the mass? Another one can say, why do we have to do this? Can we react to the sample answer? I'm not saying this is the most accurate. I just wanted to give it as a guidance. Because we are going to do another activity, and now I will want people to, teacher, what are specimens? Specimens are like samples. Like if, when someone dies and they are doing the post-mortem, they want to know what killed the person. They don't have to take the whole body. Normally they cut off some small piece. They can cut a small piece from the liver to go and see whether this person died of poison, because whenever you take in poison, it is the liver that is meant to how can I call it? To downplay. Whenever you take something that is dangerous, it is the liver that it filters. So in case they are checking for poison, they will check the liver. So they just don't have to remove the whole liver from your body. They just cut off part of the liver and they use that one as a sample. Now we can call it a sample, we can call it a specimen. I hope I've answered what a specimen is. So even when you go to the carpentry workshop, you don't need to carry the whole piece of wood that is 4 meters long. No, you just cut off a small piece. That one is your sample of that wood, and therefore you can call it a specimen. Why in all examples we have to use dead bodies? We are doing science. I'm sure at the beginning they told you physics is a branch of science, and science deals with the living and non-living things. So it is okay to use a dead body. In any case, you think you will not die. You'll never die. Death is very normal. What is it? Someone is even Anyway, let's continue. I've not said this dead bodies of you. It can be me. But who told you I will die of poison? No way. Can we have other reactions quickly before I allow you to write and then we do some other exercise? Let's focus our chat room to study issues. Issues of Omuri, the Nicole, to be very quick. Others use emojis. They don't know that the chat room does not show emojis. They just put boxes. Anyway, let's focus our discussions, whether in the chat room or anywhere, to what we are doing. These are the questions you are going to find in exams. Don't think you'll find it there that the mass of a body is this, the volume is this, calculate the density. No, they are going to be like this. How can you apply the knowledge you acquired in the study of density in our daily life? Now this is a daily life experience. You can really go to a carpentry workshop and you want to buy furniture. For them, they will tell you, those are the seats, we have those ones. Or if you want yours to be made newly, how are you able to apply the knowledge of physics in school with choosing better wood? Would they cheat you by selling you fake wood and you buy it expensively? That's the new curriculum now. Are you able to apply what you have learned in solving daily problems? That's why the sample questions are like that. They should reflect what is happening around us. Bukenya Alia, you have your hand is up, and Virunji, but we can hear from Bukenya first, then Virunji next. Patricia. Alia. You may have to raise up the voice now.
They have told us, yes, to see how we can use the knowledge of density and everything to find out. But then, like, okay, yes, okay, according to this question, they're asking for how you can do it. So yes, you have explained how we can do it. But yes. Let's say they've given us what one thing is. Like, how are we supposed to determine the other if we don't have even one of them? Like, we don't know what the volume is, we don't know what the density is, we don't know what the mass is. Like, we don't know what any of the thing is. So how are we supposed to calculate what the other is without knowing what at least one of them is?
So what I can say about that one is, first of all, when we are looking at density, when we define the density, we say it is how heavy or light something is. And therefore, if you found there already chairs which have already been made, for example, leave alone these ones where you put the sofa set, where you have some mattresses and and therefore carrying it, and you feel it is heavy, it may not be because the wood itself was heavy, but these other, the mattresses they have added on it. So what you can do in such a case, where you can't measure the height, you can ask them, can I have a piece of wood that was used to make this chair? And also you give me another one which was used to make this chair. And if these two are, for example, the same size, then that is elementarily, you can carry the two pieces of wood and you feel which one is heavier than the other. That is on condition that they have the same size. One can be heavy because it is bigger than the other. But when we are looking at the density, we have to ensure that the pieces, our samples are first of all the same volume, meaning they are the same size as in how big they are. Now, if I can just carry the two and I feel one is heavier than the other, that one already creates a picture that that one which is heavy has a higher density compared to the one that is light. But in this question,
it's okay.
In this question, I was specific. We said, how can we make an informed decision? An informed decision means it is a reliable decision.
complaint. Okay, not complaint, but like challenge me, Aliyah. Because like you have said that at the beginning we said that density is how heavy or light something is, but isn't that weight when you look at it? Because it's like you're saying density and weight are the same thing when they are kind of different. There is a difference between density and the difference between weight.
Thank you very much.
Because nope, I'm continuing to explain. So like in my own understanding, what you say density is weight. Weight is how heavy or light something is. And then density is the mass per unit volume. I'm not just saying it for calculation stuff, but when you actually think about it, how much mass, how many particles of something are in that 1 unit of volume. That's why we multiply by the whatever to get the whatever, the whole thingy. Sorry for using such words. But like, yes, so like when you say that density is how heavy or light something is, aren't you confusing weight and density? Because they are two completely different things.
Thank you very much.
Because something can be heavy, but have a lower density or something than other.
Thank you very much. I've loved the argument. And that's why I said, I underlined this word. But in the question, we are specific that we want to make an informed decision. And I specifically said, informed decision means we have carried out the science procedure until we get to a conclusion. What is the uninformed decision would be just looking at the two pieces of wood and we measure using our hands. Like you are saying, that one we shall be looking at weight other than density. It is only by science procedure that we can now determine the density. And we can also use a science procedure to determine the weight. It is through these two are completely independent physical quantities. And that's why if we are making an informed decision, we need to follow science procedures. And it is the reason why our answer is like this. The one of just checking which one is heavy, that is too elementary. And that decision cannot be called an informed decision. So you have to be right. Weight is different from density. And that's why we couldn't just say, you feel whether this one is heavy and this one is light, and let's make a conclusion. No, we must follow the science procedure to come up with an informed or a reliable decision. Thank you for that, Ajay.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes. I want to put another activity where now it is you people who are going to come up with the answer. But I'm giving some few minutes for people to write this one, those who have not yet written. Don't forget that I said this one should come here and this one comes here. If I'm to label, this is number 1. This one should be number 2. And this one is now 3. Then 4, and 5. While copying, you do that one. And I told you why we have to interchange this and this. Please, 2 minutes of writing, those who had not written.
So we are done.
That's good.
Not we're about, please wait, about on the second part.
Okay, complete.
It's kind of like that integration.
I want someone here to take charge to be the moderator of the discussion, and we are answering that one as a class without the teacher's intervention for now. Owini is choosing to be along with Mukoda. Now it means Mukoda is going to be the secretary. This time Marilyn is the secretary, Mukoda is the moderator.
Okay.
Can we discuss as a class? and come up with the answers. Bukenya Alia is the assistant secretary. Oh, you had something to say. Alia, you are the assistant.
I had something to say. You had said that we discuss as a class, so I was waiting for Marilyn to for Paula to start, then I say my point.
Very good.
Okay, start. Alia, that is with us first.
Hi, first of all, how is everyone? So the question is basically kind of asking us to use the knowledge of density, to explain what we know about density in relation to the question. To me, when you read it, that's basically what they're asking for. In a village X, Mr. Kato came across a shiny piece of rock and claimed it is gold. His son Peter feels this is not gold. As a student of physics, how can you help Kato and his son to reach a reliable fact? Okay, I don't know if we've discussed this yet with teacher, but I think what, who is it? Kato, did I use Kato? Student of physics or Kato? Yeah, Kato and his son. So Kato is saying it's gold, but his son says it's not gold. So I think to whatever the argument, they should first find the what? To real see if it's gold, they should find the density, because some densities of some objects don't change. A structural density of objects doesn't change. They have fixed densities. So they should find the density and see if it's equal to the one of gold. So the process of finding density, you have to first find the mass and the volume, then calculate the density. And then if they check, if you make research and you see the density of gold, if it's equivalent to that one, then it's gold. If it's not equivalent, then it means it's not gold. Because right now the argument, they're trying to find out whether it's gold or not. So we don't have to look at what it is, but we have to just see if it's gold or not, if it's gold or not. So yeah, that's basically what we have to do. That's what I think.
Alia, that's not a bad answer, because mine was so different and I was confused with the question. But imagine if Mr. never had a phone or internet.
No, you don't have to use the internet here. Not the internet only. There are also books that you can get from and everything, because they said as a student of physics, how can I help Kato? So me, I'm a student of physics. I study physics. So there are some things that I know. So Mr. Kato and his son, they are complaining, sounds like it's gold. No, it's not gold. I think it's anything but gold. So to me, trying to put everything together, I think it's what they should do. They get the thing, calculate the volume, calculate the mass, find the density. There has to be hours, and they should ask him, even Shamsa. Sorry about that. I was reading what Shamsa put in the chat. So find the volume, find the mass, calculate them, and get the density. Then after that density that they have got, then they're going to come to me, the student of physics, and I'm going to tell them the thingy for gold. Then if it's equivalent to their thingy, then it's gold. If it's not equivalent, then it means it's anything but gold. I don't know if you're getting what I'm saying.
Yeah, I've gotten it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Paula.
Marilyn, yes?
Yeah. To simplify what Alia said, I think we can all go back to when Charahima was teaching us during the Zoom lessons, and we did draw a table for those of us who remember. So if we get the volume and the mass and we calculate the density and it comes up equivalent to the density of gold, then it is gold. But if it is not equivalent, it's not gold. That's what I think Alia was trying to say.
Yeah, basically that. They want us to explain the process of how you get the density.
Thank you.
Oh wait,
Welcome.
wait. I have a simpler way of whatever-ing it. So like they get this thing.
Okay, I'll come
this
back to you
shiny
because when
piece
other
of
people want to talk.
Sorry.
Okay.
Who
I've
else?
noted.
Marilyn.
Please, I'm noting down the facts like you said we should. So far, I only have
Marilyn,
one.
you wanted to say?
I'm just saying that
your answer, or...
if anyone is saying an answer, please say it in a simplified version so that I can note it down easily. That's all.
Okay, Rania, now really.
I just want to say the same answer Leah said, but in a more explained way. Like, I think that that's the same, the question that teacher has asked us is the same. We are trying to relate density. So in this thing, the first step that I think we should do is we get the stone and find it and determine the mass. And to determine the mass, since it's an irregular object, we can use a beam. Yeah, we can use a beam balance. Then for volume, when you're determining the volume, that's where the irregular part comes in. We can use displacement method. Then after that, we calculate the density, which is mass over volume. Then if the density we get is the one equal to the density of gold, then we can know it's gold. And if it's not, then we can know that it's not gold.
Okay, thank you, Navidi.
Our discussion then you come up with the write-up of the correct answers.
Who else wants to like this? Who has an answer? Is there anyone else? Marilyn, your hand is up.
Sorry, I left it. Let me put it down.
I think that's all with the discussion.
Marilyn has noted down like it was Alia and Nabi who have given answers, who have discussed.
Even me again.
It is the secretary's
yeah.
Even. So
Alia,
the answers I came up
with.
There is Bukenya Alia having her hand up first of all.
Yes, I forgot to go back to her. Alia.
I just wanted to like add on, but I think it was Rihanna. Was it Rihanna? Like she said something like the displacement method, I know. So like, yeah, it's okay. Shady took it. I forgot my hand up. Sorry.
All right. So, the secretaries, what did you capture? Secretaries, Marilyn and who else?
Alia, you wanted to talk about Alia.
Alia said she forgot her hand up. She had finished.
Like she wanted to talk something about something that talks about gold. And then I told her that I'll go back to her.
No, it's okay.
She has forgotten.
I haven't forgotten. It's okay.
So can we tell the points now? Only
so.
points I have.
Oh yeah, you talk the points.
We came to our conclusion that we first have to find the mass, then we find the volume and we calculate the density to this object, and then we compare it to the density of gold because the density of gold does not change. If they are the same, then it is gold, but if it is not, it's not gold.
I think in summary, that is it. Now,
yes, teacher.
For purposes of getting the scores, You have already outlined the steps, but now what we add in is when we say we determine the mass, we should tell what we are going to use to determine the mass, because Mr. Kato has not gone to school. When you say determine the mass, you may not know what exactly measures mass. You get the point? So which instrument is used to measure mass?
A beam balance.
That we determine the mass of the piece of rock using
balance.
The purpose of answering this one is that even someone who comes from nowhere should be able to follow your procedures and come up with a conclusion. It doesn't necessarily have to be with you present. So we don't leave some statements hanging. Yeah? So we say determine the mass of the piece of rock using a beam balance. So we mentioned even what we should use to determine the mass. Then someone mentioned, you also came up with determine the volume. Determine the volume of the rock. We leave it like that. Do we leave it like that?
No.
Can anyone see or hear, teacher?
Nope.
No.
It has gone away.
Teacher going.
No. So the lesson is done.
Network.
Guys, what was the second sentence?
You asked Marilyn. I wasn't noting anything.
What was the second answer? Determine.
Find the volume. Yeah. Determine the volume.
It was find the volume of the rock.
Thank you.
Welcome.
The volume is in displacement.
Guys, where is teacher? It's already 12:32 even. What should we do?
So is the lesson done or?
I think those ones who want to stay can learn themselves. So I'm not sure. We can get to discuss.
Connection.
Because there is a connection isn't that good.
By the way, can someone add me to the NGS online schooling? I am not there.
Yes. I don't even have your number.
Like anyone who has my number. I'm on Instagram, so that works. Anyway, just please.
Mom, not on Instagram. I don't want to be on Instagram.
I'm not asking if you're in it or not. I'm asking for you to add me to the group. That's all I want.
Auntie, I'm trying to help you, but I do not have your number.
Wait, what group?
What?
Which group?
The NGS online group.
Who wants to be added on the NGS online?
Me, Marilyn.
You ask Mr. Namdala to help you.
Okay.
Because he's the one who can help you.
Marilyn, you inbox Mr. Namdala privately, then he'll add you.
Okay. So,
How's everybody?
Is the lesson done?
I don't know.
Why?
Whose noise is that?
No one.
Don't lie.
Okay, it was mine.
Okay, let's wait here for teacher. If he doesn't come back, meaning the lesson is done.
But what time will, like, should we wait for him till 12:40 or?
Okay, yeah, let's wait till 12:40.
Because even it is on the timetable.
Be listening to gospel music.
Oh, someone should I put for you something?
Yes, Mama put for us. If it's gospel, please put gospel, please.
Okay.
Hip-hop trolls.
Are you all seeing?
Nope.
Oh, okay. I was going to put shallow, but anyway, let's go with that. So,
even people share their screens.
Like there's this share button.
Share button.
Can you see?
Shamsa with old man voice still. Not a bad one. But with old men, they can also give you some answers that are like.
Hello? Hello?
Yeah, we're hearing you.
But can you see any screen?
Yes, we can.
It's something.
Whose screen are you seeing?
That's shallow.
Hey, you guys.
They are lyrics.
Yeah, that's my screen.
The lesson is recorded.
Let's put this
The teacher gone, you
The
guys.
lesson is recorded.
Okay. Okay, let me put that. No, I know that perfect song. It's called I love this song. We are lost, you guys.
You guys, is the teacher gone? You guys, is the teacher
Yes.
gone?
Teacher gone or what?
I think it has ended. Should we
The
go?
lesson is even still recording.
They never talked to me.
You guys have left because I'm thinking teacher is not going to come back. If teacher returns, one of you will tell me I come back.
Okay.
Hey, we'll tell you where do we get you.
Thanks for all.
By the way, Cheryl, you're right. Where was we get?
Cheryl.
Yeah.
What's away?
Gabby, just WhatsApp.
You.
Yeah.
Can you stop? The lesson is done. Bye.
Is it done or we are still in class?
It's done and you're still here alone.
You people, at least if there were evening classes.
Go away. Go alone.
No, like there are only 2.
You guys, this is the last lesson.
Remember, it's called class on your own. Yeah. That's you.
Gabby, is that you? I saw you. Yes. Whose big mouth is that?
Gabby, who is that?
Oh my God. Leona?
Oh. Gabby, you want to scare us?
Yes.
Leona?
Yes, Ariana, end the lesson for us. Gabby, we are seeing you and your cousin.